Hello and welcome to your GG Replay for Friday, November 12th, 2021. GG Replay is, of course, a Monday, Wednesday, Friday podcast where we break down the latest in gaming news, hosted by us, the Goodnight Groofs, a place for games and a place for a good old-fashioned good time. We're workshopping this slogan. I don't know if that one's going to stick around, but, Fridays you got to try something new, am I right? I already recorded this intro thinking it was Wednesday, so we're off to a fine and fantastic start so far. I am Paul, and I'm joined usually by Matt, but often on Fridays, I feel like. Mike slides in and takes Matt's role as producer and co-host. What's going on, my friend?
Nothing much. We gotta check and see how many vacation days Matt gets a year, because this is getting ridiculous.
I know, right? What are we talking about? We gotta talk to Groof HR here and see what we can do, because it's only so many days he can miss, I tell you. He's the lifeblood here. All right. Awesome. Well, I was about to get into it, but I will say, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about, but I will say just an interesting fact. I ran out of soda facts. Matt and I both have kind of realized this, but I just found a weird fact that might be interesting. Vacuum cleaners were originally horse-drawn.
What?
Isn't that weird? One of the earliest known vacuum cleaners was so large that it had to be hauled from house to house via a horse-drawn carriage, and then once it was there, they'd shove the hoses through the windows, and it was gas-powered. So the vacuum didn't run on they didn't run it across your living room, but they had to transport it from house to house with horses. So there you go. I was really kind of honestly hoping that it would be the other way, where not the other way, but they'd have to put the horses in your house, or put the hoses, attach them to the horses, and they'd run it back and forth across your living room from outside. Can't win them all. Perfect. If Mike, if you could pick any animal to pull your vacuum cleaner around your house, what would you pick?
I'd probably sled dogs.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, that's really good. I think fish, because if they did it long enough, they might be able to grow legs and
I'm pretty sure they'll just die.
Pull up their bootstraps, get their asses in gear, and get out of my GD ocean. All right, I don't know where I'm going with this. All right, just before we get into any, speaking of things that aren't factually accurate, corrections and comments. If you come across any necessary corrections in today's episode, gaming or biological, send them to ggreplayshow@gmail.com or head down to the YouTube comments below so we can address them in the next episode. Mike, the reviews are in. We have a couple games that got reviewed this week that we want to talk about. First off, Battlefield 2042 got an 82 on OpenCritic, and that is going to be out Friday, although I do think early access has started for that, right, as of today?
Yeah.
So that's a thing. Now, I've been following the game, obviously through replay, talking about news and stuff like that, but Mike, you've been actually watching some people stream the game being played, right? So do you have any hot takes, what you're thinking of how the game looks so far?
It looks like more Battlefield, and that's probably a good thing. I don't know. I've watched it. I wasn't super excited about it when it got announced. Battlefield usually isn't my cup of tea, but I used to play Bad Company 2 a lot when I was in high school. I played a little bit of 3 and 4, I want to say. It looks good. It's giving me the itch to play it again. I will say, watching a streamer play it for an hour, literally only an hour, I saw 3 different bugs, 2 of which forced him to quit the match. That's not great. It does seem like some of the maps are broken. They just won't load. One of the maps, I think, either one of the deserty maps, Desert City. It might be Jesus, the city in the Middle East that I can't think of. Right. But Dubai. It might be the Dubai map.
Sure, yeah.
Doesn't seem to load.
There's a lot to render on the Dubai map.
Hazard Zone doesn't seem to work. No one in his chat seemed to be able to get it to work. And this was I was watching Co-Carnage. He had, several thousand people in there.
Sure.
And then certain things are just missing that they said that they're going to add in a patch. The scoreboard, some other things. Basically, the game released and it's not finished yet. Who knew?
That's Battlefield, right? I think that's
right,
kind
exactly
of how Battlefield usually goes. I was pretty much expecting there to be some pretty big bugs, not fully game breaking, but breaking parts of the game, such as hazard zone and stuff like that. So I think that seems pretty on point with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. He did step into the portal area for a little bit.
Yep.
And
this is so funny.
So Battlefield has like 4 or 6 different modes that they promote that are custom made. One of them is from like a famous YouTuber. And I saw it, I was just like, oh, that's a cool mode. It was a VIP mode in Battlefield, which I thought that was really neat. But then you go to browse and it brings up all the serverless and everything is like XP farm, 1 HP bots. And I'm just like, cool. And it goes on for hundreds of servers like that. So whatever.
Maybe that's something that should be patched out potentially. I think it's weird to imagine you would get XP from like portals. It seems kind of strange.
Yeah, that was
mod
weird.
Games to be whatever you want, like 1 HP XP farm. So it's kind of weird that it really feels like it should be kind of like a separate creative thing, but I don't know.
Yeah,
who knows? Strange, I'm sure they'll figure it out.
82 makes sense.
Yep.
I'm not surprised.
No, seems good. Seems fair. I think maybe that might change over the next few days. It's early for that, so that might go down or up a little bit. Probably down a little bit, but we'll see. Probably early 80s, so that makes sense. Another game here, Bright Memory Infinite, got a 62 on OpenCritic. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I forgot to look at anything for this game, but it looked forgettable. I don't know if you have any. It's some kind of shooter with mechs. Yeah. It's as they call it, all new lightning fast fusion of the FPS and action genres.
And it's an Xbox Microsoft exclusive. Great.
Yep. And got a 62. So I mean, what more do you need? 62 is a fail in modern gaming. So there you go. Speaking of 62 being a fail in modern gaming here, I won't jump to it, but GTA the Trilogy Definitive Edition is an absolute abject disaster. Who would have guessed that this would have had a weird bad launch? Early reviews, there's only 3 critic reviews right now, so that's why we're not talking about it in the review segment, but of the 3 that were shown, at least at the time I wrote the outline, it had an average of 63. It's low. That might have changed that up critic. I saw people saying online that like there's a weird thing because like you can't, it's really bad to export them, and the audio exports so poorly too that like a lot of reviewers don't want to put their review out with this audio from the game, or I don't know. I saw some weird stuff about it kind of being stifled. Also, I mean, I feel like a lot of reviewers might consider doing it on PC. Well, that's a problem right now because you can't even play it on PC. So I mean, let's just go through. There's obviously some issues, low quality audio coming through on every system basically. It's taxing on everything. Like there's people running 2080s, RTX 2080s and 3080s who can't run the game at like a acceptable frame rate or a consistent frame rate. There's drops everywhere, and don't even get me started on the Nintendo Switch where the game is basically doesn't work at all. But that's just, maybe you can play on PC. You got a tough PC, I heard some people say that it's maybe it works better on a low end PC, but then the higher end you get, it doesn't get better. It just keeps staying fine. But now you can't play it at all. Rockstar has pulled the PC version from their store because the launcher is totally broken. It doesn't launch the game. Even if you've already purchased the game, it doesn't work. And it's just totally borked. I mean, are we surprised? I think this is kind of, I wasn't expecting it to be terrible in like a buggy way to this degree, or like a I just thought it would kind of not be much of a remaster. But this, on top of already being kind of a lackluster remaster, is a huge miss.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wish I was surprised. I think, if anything, this might be good news for people who are hoping for GTA 6 to come out, because this is bad press for Rockstar, so
really bad.
They might need to deliver something. So, It's bad. There's no other words.
They don't need to deliver anything. They just well, they do. They can do the Red Dead Redemption remaster based on a mobile port they'll come out with next year, and then that'll fix it. I saw something about rights or something that was an issue that because they lost the rights to music and things like that. They came out with the mobile ports, and then those skirted a lot of those issues, and so that was part of the reason they built it on the mobile ports, because those had already cleared all the issues that they didn't need to deal with anymore.
So that makes sense.
So laziness, basically, not using the source. I don't know. Yeah. The whole thing is a lazy project. That's the problem, right? Or just a mismanaged project anyway. So anyway, not gonna shit on it for much longer. We already have, but yeah, bad times. I mean, I hope it at least gets playable at some point. That would be nice if that could be patched somehow. I don't really know if it can, because the whole thing seems to have issues, but who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh well.
Moving on to talk about a different storefront here. Microsoft's Windows Store is finally becoming more Steam-like for games. You can finally, a lot of people have complained about the walled garden of Microsoft with the Windows Store as they're trying to get away from, like a lot of companies are trying to get away from going online and downloading things in different launchers or from different programs and creating like more of a storefront like Apple has done with iOS and things like that. Well, Microsoft has definitely been doing that, but they are now letting you install games that you download through the Xbox app to any folder or drive of your choice with unrestricted access. This is awesome. This means you can mod these games. You can go in and edit files. You can go in and add mods and things like that, which is huge for the community, especially when you see they have things like Minecraft Java Edition. That makes sense why they would, it seems weird to have two different editions of Minecraft. When one is the mod one, but you don't allow mods, so what's happening? So that makes sense, which is cool. And also, it apparently could be helpful for those who have issues with the Windows Store app. Looking at Matt, maybe that might help. I know that was some of his issue was like just even being able to install and download the games from there. So who knows? But maybe if you can change folders or drives, that might make a difference. So it's cool to see it come off of. It's not like it's still Windows, right? I mean, it's not like you're getting it from the Windows Store, but you're still installing it on your Windows folder or your drive that is running, Windows 11 or 10. So I don't think they're really missing out on a whole lot to be able to give you this functionality. But I think often these companies just go like, hey, the consumer doesn't care where it goes. They just care that it works and we can put it wherever the fuck we want. It's like, not quite with Windows. So yeah. Mike, are you excited? Is this something you'll be taking advantage of? Are you going to mod any games you download from the Xbox store, Microsoft Store?
Probably require me to download games from the Microsoft Store, which I just don't do. Yeah. I mean, it's nice. It's good. It's kind of like head scratching. Why wasn't this like this from the start type of deal?
Yeah.
But I mean, at least it's like this now. Good for people who use Microsoft Store. I've used it once, and I don't know that I'll use it again. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't use the Microsoft Store really much at all, but I do download games from Game Pass on the Xbox app, and so I'll have that same functionality, which is cool. So. It's neat. I won't really make use of it. I don't think. I just don't mod enough games. I might. If I download Skyrim for the 1,000th time, hoping that maybe this time it'll stick, then I could at least mod it through Game Pass, which is kind of cool. So
I think the issue with mods is that the Steam method of doing mods right now is just super streamlined. So if I wanted. If I wanted to mod something, it'll be through Steam, just because I don't have to think about it.
Last time I modded, like when I played World of Warcraft, that's one of the few times I mod things. And when I did that, I download like the Curse or whatever launcher there is now, and do it through that. Like I'm not gonna. I can't think of the last time I did something weird like that. That's what Rachel too, as someone who has thousands of hours in The Sims 3. She used to go through and like edit files and like and install mods. And I was like, why don't you use is there like a mod launcher for The Sims 3, like the one you use? And there was a launcher thing that does it and installs the mods and runs it all. And so now she's like modded up, and it's way better. So. Yeah, it's cool to see it, but also, if anyone's still doing this, I think it's probably more of an exciting thing just for the Minecraft people who still want to go in and do that Java Minecraft modding stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, honestly.
Have fun, nerds. All right, moving on to more Microsoft stuff. We got a couple Microsoft things to talk about today. Xbox, quote from Jeff Grubb here, is definitely making a new 1 versus 100. And this is Jeff Grubb claimed this on his Giant Bomb show just the other day. The game is supposedly currently in active development at Altspace VR, which is a part of Microsoft's mixed reality division. Okay, interesting. Anyway. I'll get into it. I think this is weird that it's being developed by them because I know they're talking about no VR for Xbox. That's been something they've talked about for a long time, or at least not for a very long time. But mixed reality is an interesting concept. Could we see this being something that launches like like they bring back the weird Microsoft mixed reality headsets, but for Xbox instead of like PC? Or is this just going to be kind of like the mixed reality of playing on your TV? People are playing at their homes, and there's like a weird human connection. I mean, that's a lot of video games, but like maybe something about a live game show thing, and they're using that term for mixed reality too. Mike, did you play 1 versus 100 younger? Or is this something you're excited for?
I played it, I want to say once or twice. I wish I played it more. I think I realized what it was and that it existed like right before it got taken off of Xbox, and I got really, really sad about it. So I will play the shit out of this. I'm excited. Yeah, it's awesome. In terms of the mixed reality, that's interesting. I don't know what they plan on doing with that, but who knows?
Microsoft getting weird with it. We'll have to see. But yeah, I loved 1 versus 100. I feel like I didn't find it super early, or I don't know if I did or didn't. The thing is, I only ever played it at a friend's house. He was super onto like Xbox Live Arcade stuff, whereas I just kind of played like, games I had on disc and didn't really like get into the Xbox Live community stuff as much. And so he had 1 versus 100 and a bunch of other arcade games. Actually, we're going to talk about one of them later. And we'd all kind of go over there and like play together as a team and try to answer the questions and see if we could get. I think we got into the 100 once, and it was pretty cool, but we lost because I think someone accidentally, there was like a question about who the character of who Johnny Depp played in Pirates of the Caribbean, and one of the answers was Jack Spoon. It was like the throwaway answer that's like clearly not right, and someone accidentally pressed Jack Spoon, and we lost. So I always remember that being the time we lost out on, I don't know, my friend lost out on 10,000 gamer points or whatever the fuck they used to give you. All right. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited for that. I'm sure it will be interesting. I'm interested to see how they iterate on it, seeing stuff like HQ and stuff like that swept the nations, a couple of years ago. We've seen live game shows kind of take a more mainstream approach through mobile. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do something a little more interesting, because I will say with 1 versus 100, a lot of it was kind of built around like how cool it was to have your Xbox avatars all in like a crowd, and I don't think Xbox avatars really mean a lot to almost anyone at this point. So I'm kind of curious what the visual will be and what I feel like, again, that was like to push that idea of like playing online and having your avatars be part of it. And so I wonder if this is also going to be to push something like, again, mixed reality. So interesting. Also, moving on to talk about a little bit more Xbox today. This is some more rumor shit out here. New upcoming Xbox exclusives revealed: Project Midnight from Compulsion and Pentiment from Obsidian. We've heard a little bit about this stuff before, but Windows Central has the story here. Pentiment was first revealed by Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb out here leaking it all. It's reportedly being developed by a small team at Obsidian, led by Fallout New Vegas and Pillars of Eternity director Josh Sawyer. This is pretty cool. And he was also the design director on The Outer Worlds, for better or for worse. That is also something on his resume. So this is supposed to be something that evidently, this is take this all with a huge grain of salt, chunk of salt, planned for release next year, and is said to be a murder mystery RPG where players will take on the role of an investigator in 16th century Europe, branching narrative, less combat. Really feels like a historical take on like a Disco Elysium kind of thing, maybe. It really seems to be what a lot of people are drawing from this and what I draw from looking at it. If this is true, Mike, Josh Sawyer, historical Disco Elysium, Obsidian, does this sound fucking rock like amazing? It sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, it sounds amazing from a team like Obsidian. I mean, it's their bread and butter. Let's make a story. Go play the story. Let's not focus on combat. So no, it's really cool. It's really exciting, and Jeff Grubb needs to stop being such a sieve, I guess, because he's leaking everything.
How are people still telling this guy stuff? Like, how does he find anything out? They'd be like, Jeff, I can't tell you anything more this week. Like, you've leaked everything I've told you. Like, he's like, no, I swear, this one I'll keep close to the vest. I feel like he keeps like a couple secrets close to the vest for everyone, just so that they like might trust him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's so ridiculous.
Weird. So weird. I don't know how that culture works, but it's amazing.
Yeah, no, this is something I would definitely check out, definitely play. I've played all of those games under Josh Sawyer, and they were all relatively good. So, yeah, why not?
Yeah, all very high ranked, I think, in their genres. Well, not all. Outer Worlds, not so much, and unless the genre.
It was too short.
Modern Fallout games, and that's like, yeah, it was pretty good for a modern Fallout game.
Yeah, Outer Worlds just needed to be deeper. It was way too shallow, but
it could have been like more of like a demo thing for like what they're working on, or like it could have been like a short narrative experience or something. But it felt too like they were trying to make a big full game, and it wasn't enough. So
it had good bones. Hopefully, the second one will be everything that the first one couldn't quite live up to. So
I saw a lot of people saying too that like this is cool because it would have been very easy for Microsoft or even Obsidian just to like say like, you know, let's put everyone on Avowed, right? Let's put this other team, this small team we have, and have them work on Avowed multiplayer or Avowed DLC or Avowed. This is like what a lot of other companies would probably do. But instead they're able to kind of work on like a smaller scale passion project, which is cool. So nice to see that. I'm really hoping that will turn out well for whoever's interested in that. Cool stuff. Also, another game here. This is apparently from We Happy Few developer Compulsion. We Happy Few, which was acquired by Microsoft in 2018. They're apparently reportedly working on a third-person action game set in a dark and fantastical world that has large and magical creatures. Okay. This is apparently a single-player coming-of-age tale with a gothic vibe, taking inspirations from the Deep South in America. Okay, this is a lot to unpack. So the other one had a very clear, 16th century, like historical investigate. This is like historical Disco Elysium from Obsidian. That's cool. This one, it's a third-person single-player, like almost like it sounds like a monster hunting thing, but also there's like it's like in Gothic America, Southern Gothic. It's coming of age. I don't know. I remember We Happy Few promising so much of like world building, and disappointing hardcore in my experience. So I really have very little confidence in this. Mike, is this something that you're scratching your head about as well?
I mean, my very limited experience with We Happy Few is that it was a train wreck disaster, and
God, those early trailers were so cool, though. Like,
the trailers were great, and then
it was like,
you looked at the game, and it's like, what is this shit? I guess I'm being more optimistic because they're now acquired by Microsoft, which when Compulsion came out with We Happy Few, they were not. So hopefully,
they definitely backed a little bit. Like I think there was, they definitely helped advertise, and they definitely wanted to push We Happy Few, but they weren't actually, behind the scenes producing like they are now. So
right, exactly. So hopefully they've got their shit together. Regardless, this sounds like a disaster of a game from the description. I mean, take inspirations from America Deep South. That's not a place I would take inspiration from. Literally ever.
Really hot button time to start making stuff that is taking like Southern Gothic takes, I think already. Like I hear coming of age in like Deep South and it's dark. I'm thinking like something like Beloved by Toni Morrison or something, but then all of a sudden there's like large and magical creatures, and that I really feel like you're not even going to interact with them based on my We Happy Few memory. They're just going to be there and just I don't know. I don't have much to say. This sounds like a train wreck. It could be amazing. Well, I think it could be good. I have doubts it could be amazing. I guess anything could be amazing. We'll have to see though. But yeah, exciting stuff. Cool to see these big leaks, I guess. Cool. Cool for us to talk about. But I think that's it for that for now. But yeah, that'll be cool. And yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that they were looking at Josh Sawyer's Twitter, and dude's like constantly talking about like historical shit, and like I don't know, it seems like it's just like this is something he's wanted to do forever. So
yeah, go for it.
Stuff. Forget the other game. Pretend it doesn't exist. Maybe it'll pleasantly surprise you. All right. Let's move on. Twitch is now available on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Hey, there's no Netflix, there's no browser, but boy, oh boy, can you watch Twitch. And you know what? Everyone's part of watching Twitch is the watching, right? You know, just watching. I personally, you know, would never want to interact with any of the people I watch. So perfectly, this is right for me because on the Twitch, let me just take a second here to remind everyone that on Nintendo Switch, there still is not voice chat. You have to do this on your phone. With an app. Well, you know, they're taking that everywhere, right? So you won't be able to actually see the stream's chat on the Switch's screen or the TV when it's docked, unless the streamer sets up their stream where the comments are like flooding in the corner. That doesn't actually let you talk in the chat either. It's just like a UI element. It's weird they even said that. But don't worry, because you will be able to see the chat room on your phone. Didn't say you could speak in it. I assume you might be able to type in it. You can see the chat room on your phone when you scan a QR code from your Switch to your phone to get an app that will let you see the chat from your Switch. At this point, why wouldn't you just watch it on your phone? Or, oh, you want to watch on your TV, right? I get that. Okay, that might make sense. Are you telling me you don't have a smart TV or an Xbox or something that can stream Twitch on your TV with chat? This just boils my blood, I tell you. Mike, I feel like you're just like sitting over there like completely unsurprised.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I also like really don't care. It's like, yeah, it's what you said. Why not just watch it on your phone at that point? I mean, yeah. Twitch mobile is a disaster. Yes. So there's that drawback, but still, it's just like
the drawback of being a disaster.
Oh, I'm watching this on my Switch. Let me pull out my phone so that I can also chat. It's like, why?
You're like holding your Switch and your phone. You're like swipe texting. I don't know who. Again, the only reason I think you might want to do this is if you're doing it docked, watching it on TV. But again, I just feel like everyone else has another way to watch Twitch on their TVs.
Don't you have just like any HDMI cable that you can hook up to your computer? Like
anything, right? There's like a million ways to do this. It's just weird. It makes sense if the only piece of technology you have is a Switch and you have a non-smart TV or a smart TV that's like so ancient there's no app store and you can't get Twitch. Yes. And this is for some reason and you refuse to watch it on your phone. This is it. This is the way you do it. So
it's just,
there you go.
So weird, but whatever.
Good thing they got this out and we're really excited to launch it and announce it. Okay, that's enough. One more thing just to complain about. This is a complain about it show. I always like to get it's always good. We always seem to have a little bit of Spider-Man stuff to talk about when you're on here, Mike. Well, Marvel's Avengers finally had the exclusive reveal trailer for Spider-Man. They have been doing I would say, a piss poor job marketing this. I don't know what their reasoning is. I'm sure I could speculate, but I mean, they said when the game was launching, before the game launched, that Spider-Man's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. You can't get him anywhere else. He's free, but you can't get him anywhere else. Which, you know, listen, I mean, it's one thing if the games are that. But anyway, we've been through this. It doesn't matter. The point is, they kind of just forgot about him and didn't talk about it for a really long time. They didn't go like, Spider-Man's coming. And then they kind of shadow dropped like a little thing saying like, Spider-Man will be here in a few weeks. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, a few days before here, I guess like a couple weeks before he drops, they have a reveal trailer, which looks cute. The reveal trailer is fine, sort of. But I don't know. Mike, did you watch this? What's your hot take on the trailer, but also on, if you watched it, but also just like Spider-Man in Avengers?
I mean, coming off of playing Miles Morales, I mean, everyone who has played, right, this is exclusive to PlayStation, so everyone who would like to play as Spider-Man has probably played one of the PlayStation Spider-Man games. It's not gonna be as good. I guess if you're invested in Marvel's Avengers, it's awesome, but like, I don't know, it just looked very clunky and slow. And
how does the cinematic look slow? They didn't have.
Yeah.
They could have just made it look faster. He goes to like flip around and knock some dudes down, and he flips around like a geriatric sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
It was a very strange movement. When again they could fudge it in the video. It doesn't need to be gameplay accurate to how slow he is.
Right. Yeah. It just. I don't know. Maybe I don't even know if it's coming with like a campaign like Black Panther.
There is
did.
supposed to be like a story, but it's not like the Wakanda one where there's like a big, massive like DLC story thing. It's like a little storyline, I think.
Yeah. I don't know that this is gonna sell copies of Marvel's Avengers. I think it's a nice to have for those who play it on PS4 and PS5. But it doesn't. It's not gonna do anything to wow people who have played the other Spider-Man games. Like, let's be honest. I know I've seen some people who have been arguing that, oh, the combat for Avengers is better than the combat in the Spider-Man games, and I'm confused by those people, but okay.
Combat in Marvel's Avengers isn't better than the combat in almost any game. I know that's a hot take. I think some people think it's fine. I found it horrendous. Like the floatiest, weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I've never played Marvel's Avengers, so I have no idea what the combat's like.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just it's weird that they kind of, it feels like they missed the mark, and maybe they didn't. But the trailer definitely feels like it missed the mark. At the very least, they got
good voice acting.
Yes, I will say they got Peter's personality right. It's just the animations and everything about the fighting is just off. Very off.
He's slow in a weird way. It's and like heavy, strange.
Him dodging punches was just like.
It looked like it was in slow mo, but it wasn't supposed to be in slow mo.
Yeah, exactly.
So it looked like everyone was just a bad fighter in that scenario, including Spider-Man. Yeah. He's just like slightly better than them.
Yep.
It was weird. I don't know. Not much more to say. I will say just though, I think you made a great point though, Mike, that this would have been so much smarter to release on a non-PlayStation console, because everyone who wanted to play Spider-Man specifically, or was like hyped about this, not just like, oh cool, he's in there, I'll play him now, would have played one of these PS4 or PS5 exclusive games like the 2018 Wonder Miles Morales, which are, I mean, just amazing games in general, but also so much better than what they're showing here. I mean, it's hard not to be. It's just so, I mean, that's the thing. If this had been something that they just threw on Xbox or PC or any other place you can play Avengers, I think a lot of people would have been like, hey, this is my only chance to play Spider-Man on this system. For whatever reason, you don't have a PlayStation, too expensive to have too many systems, whatever. Then this would be your chance. And I think people will be like, okay, well, it's better than nothing. And I think that might have driven some sales to other platforms. But unfortunately, keeping it on Sony stuff means that you also have access to the best Spider-Man games that have pretty much ever come out. And that was a bad move.
Yep. And I feel like if they put it on like Xbox and it was released like it is, where he's slow and clunky, it might have inspired some people who don't have a PlayStation to go out and find a PlayStation to play said better. Well, we're saying better, but honestly, it's just because they are Spider-Man games. They are not Marvel's Avengers with Spider-Man in it.
It's much easier to be, a master of one thing, jack of all trades.
Right.
The Avengers is
exactly. So go out and play a game that was centered on Spider-Man. So weird, weird decision, but whatever.
It's weird. It's coming out. If you want it, you have a Sony console and you happen to own or play Marvel's Avengers. I think it's still on PS Now if you're a subscriber to that. Hey, whoop-de-doo. That's exciting. Otherwise, looks pretty bad. All right, moving right along.
Fair enough.
Oh, did you see the tweet from Insomniac that was like, they tweeted something about like, hey, we know a thing about good Spider-Man stories, and this one's really going to be great. We think everyone's going to love it. And they tweeted like at Marvel's Avengers. So that was nice. That was
That's
nice of them to do that, I guess, considering like people were like, are they contractually obligated? Which is my first thought too. But people were like, I don't think so. I think they're just like being nice, which is like, that's nice. It probably sucks, but that's really nice of them to say that. So.
Insomniac is owned
I don't know.
by Sony though, right?
Yeah, I know.
So it's kind of like Sony patting themselves on the back.
See, that's what I thought too. I saw a lot of people being like, it seems like people were getting like downvoted on Reddit, and I saw a lot of people being like, this is like, it's not a contractual thing. They're just nice. And I was like, I feel like it's not contractual, but also it might just be like cross promotion that you just feel like you're supposed to do.
It's like the meme of Barack giving Barack a medal. Like, that's what it feels like because that's what it is.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty funny. I was like, why is this news? This is so funny. All right. Quick hitter stories of the day. Let's try to move through these. First off, Xbox Live indie games. I made a game with zombies in it. Very stylized title as well, with lots of little leet speak in there. I don't know if anyone recognizes what leet speak is if I say that, but anyway, re-released on Steam for free. I've already got it downloaded. I'm fucking hyped. I'm gonna play some hopefully this week. This game's a classic. Mike, did you ever play I Made a Game with zombies in it?
No.
It was an Xbox arcade game. I played it sometime around like 2011 or something, and it was just like a twin stick shooter thing where you're just in a room. You're just like overhead, and you just have nothing in there. It's just blank space, and a bunch of zombies just horde at you. And there's levels, and it gets harder and harder. And it's just, that's it. That's literally the fucking game. You shoot them. But at the end, there's this really great song where the guy's just like rocking out like it's like punk emo band. And it's like he's just like screaming this song, like, I made a game with zombies in it. And it's just like, it's so charming. And it just, the final level goes on for like 12 minutes or something. And the song just keeps going. And it's just, there's just something, I just remember that being a really great memory for me and just like a fun game. And it was really like a fun little thing that made you feel like you wanted to complete the game if you've already done it, as opposed to just being like, okay, what's going to happen at the end of this? So really awesome. I'm really psyched it's on Steam. I recommend people check it out, or at the very least go to YouTube and listen to the song because it's funny. All right, moving on. Fortnite announces Naruto Shippuden, collaboration for November 16th. That's it. They just announced it's happening. I don't know. There's been like months of rumors. They kind of slowed down after the new season came out. I think a lot of people thought he'd be part of the battle pass. That was like a lot of the rumor. I always kind of thought it would just be like a random thing that happened, and well, here it is. So cool. I don't care. I don't follow Naruto, but I know there's a ton of people who were like fucking psyched for this, and a ton of people who think it's a soulless grab. But I think all those people just aren't the people who would care about Fortnite skins anyway, cross skins anyway. So I don't know.
I don't understand it's a soulless grab. I mean, you could say that about every
right. It's like I feel like
you just
hate Fortnite cross, which a lot of people do. But anyway,
whatever.
Cool stuff. I hope the Naruto run gets in there and people can emote that and run around the stage. It's gonna get a lot of weird weeb shit happening in the game now. I for one just hope this opens up to other anime in the future. Get my basic ass Dragon Ball shit in there, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of other shit, but I don't really know. I don't know. Let's toss some Pokemon skins in there. Let's get crazy with it.
Yeah, let me shoot Ash in the face. That'll be great. It's really weird. Like I get that you want to play as like your favorite characters from whatever, but like you're also shooting them in the face.
It is really weird, honestly, and it's not with like fun, colorful Nerf guns. It's like with like real bullets. Yeah, it is kind of weird. You're totally right.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, November 16th, we'll probably talk about it more next week when we actually get news about what the pack will have. I don't know if we will really, but there you go. Exciting. Activision Blizzard no longer the most valuable gaming company in the United States because Roblox, since their IPO, is just fucking, and to the surprise of everyone who doesn't have a nephew who's like 8 years old, Roblox is fucking crazy. I think a lot of us older gamers forget that this is the thing, and it has now surpassed Activision Blizz with a market cap of $62 billion. This is compared to Activision Blizzard at $52 billion market cap, and EA at a distant third with $39 billion. What the hell? What is going on with Roblox? I at some point I really wanted to sit in there and try to understand if there's anything to it, but I really just feel like it's real money shop, like like games that people make themselves, and they just scam kids out of money, and investors are like, this is good, kids are addicted to this. That's it, right? is there every game seems to be like pay to win. I don't know, it's so weird. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, exciting stuff. Initially I put the story in thinking it was more like a failure to Activision Blizzard's part, but it's really not. It's just that Roblox is exploding. And I guess Activision Blizzard is a little stagnant too. So
my only regret is not buying Roblox when it IPO'd, but oh well. Buy it now.
Yeah, buy it now. It's a big deal.
It's only gonna keep going up. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's hindsight's a bitch.
This is not financial advice. I am
not financial advice.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. We are not financial advisors. We don't recommend anything. We are apes. All right. Paper hands, baby. All right. Final story of the day. Maybe if this company IPOs, you might want to buy stock. Not financial advice. This is you might not actually on this based on this story. Playdate, the weird little crank hipster Game Boy, has been delayed to early 2022. And this game has been, system has been delayed a couple times. It was first announced a few years ago. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's kind of like a really old Game Boy, but smaller and yellow, and it has a crank on it. It has like a black and white screen with weird, really low res kind of mini games on it. And boy, oh boy, does the hipster market just love this. I don't know if that's a relevant term anymore, but it is just like really grabbing attention from a certain type of people who like kitschy shit like this. Myself included. I don't want to buy one, but I won't lie and say that every time I see the design, I'm like, oh, that looks like it would look really nice on my shelf. Yeah. So their issue really here is that apparently they had pretty big battery issues. They said because it's crank to charge it. There's a tiny little crank on the side. They said something along the lines of, they want it to be able to kind of still have power when you pull it out after it hasn't been used in a few days or whatever. You haven't cranked it in a while, and it's not even like remaining. Yeah. I didn't think this through when I started saying it. But even long after you've cranked it, it still won't get turned on. So no, what? But yeah, the point is, the battery is having real issues, not holding a charge at all, and you can't even get it back up, even if you start cranking it a lot. That one wasn't intended, I swear to God. Also, the regular chip shortage issues, which they made a tweet. They're very transparent. They're like, hey, the main CPU stuff that we use for this, actually, we tried to order some, and we had a very sullen conversation after we did, because it turned out it's like 730 days for us to get more CPUs in to make these. And they're like, we don't even really have enough for pre-orders, so whoops. Already. So they've revised the board, the logic board, whatever the fuck, the motherboard, and they have a new CPU now that they can use that will hopefully be easier to get. So I don't know. This will probably come out one day. The good thing is about technology like this is it doesn't matter if it comes out now or later, because it's insanely outdated and really specifically designed in a way that is meant to be about the design more than like the actual games. So there you go. All right. I don't know. Mike, do you care about Playdate?
No. Not at all.
I almost wasn't going to include it, but I see articles about it all the time, and I never bring it up. So just there you go to anyone out there who cares. All right, that's about it for GG Replay. Get the fuck out of here. No, we have a website actually where we're nicer to you. It's goodnightgroofs.com. There's a blog. There's this podcast. There's Game Groofs, our all-encompassing gaming podcast. Soon there will be other stuff too. You make sure you want to check out our YouTube channel, because there is going to be some cool stuff coming up this weekend into next week. We have new stuff coming, new shows. Get excited! I tell you, everyone out there in Groove Tome.
What day this weekend?
Well, I don't. Can I say Saturday? It's coming out on Saturday. It's going to be coming out Saturday morning. Well, I didn't know if I was supposed to say. I don't want to overhype in case something terrible happens.
Why wouldn't we overhype? Mac can set the published date and time. Like, he could time this shit if he wanted to.
Well, it's coming out Saturday morning, probably sometime between 9 and 11 a.m. So Eastern.
Yes.
So get in there, check it out. It's going to be awesome. Can I say the name?
No.
Do you mind? No. Okay, I'm not going to say it. It's a show, and it's cool. It's YouTube. Check it out. Go watch it. Otherwise, we also have shit on our website. What am I saying? Patreon. We have a Patreon. Patreon.com. It's Friday. Friday. It always gets a little weird at Friday. It's patreon.com/goodnightgroofs, which is awesome. We have a $1, $3, and $5 tier. The $3 tier does get you early access to our gaming podcast. Game Groofs, our all-encompassing weekly podcast. Normally it comes out on a Sunday, but you could be listening to it cruising into the weekend on a Friday if you are a patron. So always cool to listen to that. When you have this kind of weird Friday slap happy energy, you could be listening to us just having a good old time. So that's always fun. That's about it. Ooh, one more thing. If you're listening to this on a podcast app and you just heard me go, ooh, that's your signal that you should probably give us a 5-star rating or a thumbs up or a like on that podcast app because it really, really, really helps us out in the algorithm. And also, if you want to leave us a review, we will shout it out on the podcast because we are desperate, baby. So anything you want to say on the reviews section of any of our stuff, especially though podcast reviews, we will mention those on the show. So feel free to be as flagrant and flamboyant and offensive as you can in those reviews. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Well, Matt'll get upset. Like, you know what the problem is you laugh when I do this stuff just out of like the pure shock of it, but like Matt will give me a disapproving look, so that's why this goes off the rail at the end of this. All right, Mike, do you have anything else to say before we head out of here for the weekend?
Absolutely not. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Hey, fantastic. All right, we will see everyone again on Monday with a brand new episode of GG Replay. And don't forget on Sunday to check out Game Groofs. And also don't forget on Saturday to watch our new show on YouTube. There's a ton of stuff. It's a Groof weekend. We will see you again on Monday. Good night, Groofs.